Hello people, this is Edwin Learnard, and I am going to do something somewhat different this week in my Week 9 segment of my YouTube NFL predictions. This will be Week 9 for 2012 predictions, and I'm actually going to do an about face and show myself in this particular segment. Real innovative, right? Okay, people, I'm going to get down to the games now. First game, I'm going to take San Diego over Kansas City. San Diego, it's kind of funny that Philip Rivers had made mention at the beginning of the season that this was a year of like vindication and redemption. And, well, they better start redeeming pretty soon because they don't want to lose to Kansas City at home. Kansas City is unofficially the worst or very close to the worst team in the league right now. I think being at home, this should be a safe game. I think the Chargers will bounce back and win this game. Next game, take Denver over Cincinnati. Yeah, I know Cincinnati's at home, but I think we'll go with Denver. They really, with the exception of this game and maybe Baltimore, their schedule is going to be fairly easy. And this game may be somewhat tough, but I think right now all the proponents on Denver seem to be playing at a very high level, and everybody's meshing at the right time. And it wouldn't surprise me if they come close to winning out the rest of the way, or maybe just lose one more game the rest of the regular season. So I'm going to go with Peyton Manning and the Broncos. Next game, Baltimore over Cleveland. Cleveland can make this more competitive than a lot of people realize. They are at home, and it seems like their defense plays, is really could be somewhat unheralded. And it really, last week it played very well against San Diego at home. Baltimore is somewhat decimated with injuries. I still think they're the superior team right now. I'm going to take Baltimore. Next game, Green Bay over Arizona. In this game, I think, this is a tale of two teams. We see Green Bay with a lot of momentum, and they're really like the resurgent Packers right now. I'm surprised to be saying that. I thought they would have been kind of more consistent from the start of the season up till now, but they have been playing well the last several weeks or so, and Aaron Rodgers and this team seem like they're getting everything together. Arizona has plummeted to 4-4. They started out 4-0, and they were riding high, and it looked like a team to be reckoned with. But now it seems like Arizona's kind of starting to fall apart a little, so I'll go with Green Bay. Next game, Tennessee over Chicago. In this particular matchup, the Titans and the Bears, it looks like on paper everything points to Chicago, and I do realize and understand that they would be, I guess, the sexy pick in this game and very enticing. But here's the thing, Chicago is one of the worst teams in passing. If Tennessee can maybe get off to a good start, get off to a 10-0, 14-0 lead, and force Chicago quarterback Jay Cutler into throwing, it could make it a harder day on Chicago than a lot of people realize. Tennessee is desperate right now. They're 3-5. They are at home. They do seem to play a little more inspired and passion when they are at home, and their backs are against the wall right now. And if I was Chicago, I'd be a little more leery of the Titans than maybe they might be right now. I'm going to go with the Titans being the desperate team this week. The next game, I'm going to pick Indianapolis over Miami. The Colts right now, they are playing very well. They're 4-3. They've exceeded a lot of expectations, and mine as well. Miami has not been, too bad. They've been competitive. But I think we could say the lucky one, Andrew Luck, will be providential once again this week. It is at home in Indianapolis. I'll take Indy. I think my luck should be okay in that game. Next game, Washington Redskins over Carolina. I think I'll take Washington at home in this one. I like R.J. Griffin at home. I believe he has somewhat rejuvenated this franchise and given some life into him. However, it might not be showing much in their record right now, but I think he will ignite this team to victory in this game. Carolina can't seem to buy a victory, and they do have to go on the road into Washington. I think Washington will take this one. Next game, I'm going to take Detroit over Jacksonville. The only thing Jacksonville has going for them in this game is that they have Maurice Jones-Drew, arguably the best running back in the NFL right now, and they are at home. Detroit is not playing, they haven't looked exactly superlative this season. They've obviously taken a step back since last season, but I think we'll go with Detroit on the road. I think Jacksonville just really can't do much against anybody right now. Next game, Houston at Buffalo. Houston, despite getting annihilated by Green Bay, with the exception of that game, they've looked like maybe the best team in the AFC right now. And Buffalo is a team where they had, maybe people and analysts had anticipated they'd be higher up than they are currently, and they have to go on the road. Houston is everything but unbeatable at Houston. I like the Houston Texans in this one. Next game, Oakland over Tampa Bay. Oakland is at home. Neither these two teams actually blow me away, and I think a lot of people would share that same sentiment. The Oakland Raiders, they got a fairly good win last week. They had to go on the road at Kansas City. Kansas City is not that great, but they did get a good road victory, divisional opponent, and they're at home this week against the Tampa Bay Bucks, and Tampa Bay obviously has not really played that well this season. I think it's safe to go with Carson Palmer and the Raiders, and look for them to have a good, well-balanced game, throwing and running the ball, and I think it'll be good enough to defeat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Next game, I'm going to take Seattle at home over Minnesota. Minnesota has played well this year, and they have exceeded expectations, but I think the Seattle, they've played on the defensive end, especially, with a lot of vigor and a lot of intensity. They played better than I thought they would, and they were one of those teams when they're at home. They could beat virtually anybody if they have to. It seems like, with the exception of a team like maybe like the Texans or somebody. I think they can. They're a very capable home team, to say the least. And Minnesota, they're starting to fall off a little bit, and they are on the road. I think I'm going to go with the Seahawks in this one. Next game, here's a classic game between two upper echelon elite teams. We got the Giants and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And New York Giants, basically the tiebreaker, the way I'm looking at it, is that the Giants are at home, and this is a team, playing against Pittsburgh, where Pittsburgh, they're still, an elite team, but I don't know if they might have regressed a little this season. They have to go on the road, where they haven't fared well this season, with the exception, I think, of one game against the Bengals. They have not. That was the only game they won on the road, I believe. So I think we'll go with the Giants in this one. Next game, Atlanta at home over Dallas. And Atlanta right now is riding high. They don't always win pretty, but they do find a way to win, whether it's decisive, convincingly, or if it's just a close, competitive game. I like Atlanta at home, and with their quarterback Matt Ryan. The last 33 games at home, there's something like 28-5 under him, and I just think they're everything but invincible over in Atlanta, and I think that I feel pretty confident, especially the way Dallas has not played well. They keep turning the ball over, and if Dallas turns the ball over 3 or more times in this game, that should definitely fall into Atlanta's hands and give them a victory. Last but not least, New Orleans Saints over Philadelphia. Yes, I know New Orleans looked far from impressive last week. A lot of people, including myself, thought that the Saints would be more competitive in that game against the Denver Broncos, but it just didn't pan out that way. This could be the season right now for the Saints. If they lose one more or two more, they basically probably would have to kiss their playoff aspirations goodbye. So I believe in this particular game, I'm going to pick the Saints, somewhat reluctantly over the Eagles. The Eagles are really, they're kind of struggling themselves, and really the tiebreaker in this one, as some of the previous picks, is that the Saints are at home, and I'll go with the New Orleans Saints in this game. Well, people, that concludes this segment for my Week 9, 2012 NFL prognostications. and I will see you next week with week 10 of my picks.